2020 was a pretty interesting year for quite a lot of car brands, mostly due to the fact that it was the year of the COVID-19 pandemic, which kind of changed how things were. For most brands, it was just about a supply problem, while for others, it was something more than that. Well, Chevrolet fell under the second category the moment that a number of individuals who bought the 2020 Corvette started making complaints about the transmission in the car. While there were also some other minor issues that were made known by owners, the transmission problem was one that indeed raised an alarm within Chevrolet, causing the company to then look towards an upgrade. If you're curious to find out about the details of the upgrade, well then, you'll want to stay tuned for this. If you're new to the channel, well, this is Lavish Luxury. And if you've not already taken the action, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's get you going with some of the best luxury and finance content you can think of. Now, let's head back to what we have for you today. Before we head right into what the upgrade is about, or what has perhaps changed with the transmission, or even if we'll be seeing something entirely different, let's take a quick look at some of the things that really went down with the 2020 Chevy Corvette. Well, following release, the 2020 Chevrolet Corvette became an instant star in the market, as it kind of marked the start of something new from Chevrolet. Even though they had quite been in the business of producing cars that looked pretty close in design and quality, Chevrolet seemed to announce another range with the car. With so much to be expected, the car did do pretty well in quite a number of regards, and all things were going fine until there were first speculations regarding whether Chevrolet had rushed through the production of the car. At the time, some of the parts of the car seemed to be off, with screws even seeming out of place and causing a dent to the paint on the car. Though this didn't happen in all the Corvettes released that year, it still was something to worry about. It was, however, suggested that Chevrolet seemed to have fallen behind in schedule with the release of the Corvette, and they possibly rushed through some of the coupling of the parts, which then caused such a problem. Well, that wasn't all, and it even represented a really small problem to Chevrolet at the time, until reports soon came of the car's transmissions having a really serious problem that they needed to fix immediately. The whole situation ended with Chevrolet launching an investigation to make proper findings about what the problem was and to also make improvements to the transmission, with other key models like the Z06 expected pretty soon. We won't really be going into all of these details today, but if you're interested in finding out everything that really went down in detail, we've got another video that you should check out on the channel titled C8 Transmission Issues. Now let's get into what we've got on the topic for today's video. Fast forward to this year, 2022. Chevrolet has revealed that they will be moving forward with a new revised transmission for the 2023 Z06, which is one of the most highly anticipated cars in the world today. The 2023 Corvette Z06 is expected to feature a slightly revised version of the C8 Corvette Stingray Tremec TR9080 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. The new plan was announced by Corvette's chief engineer Jason Holder during a presentation at the recent National Corvette Museum Bash in Bowling Green, Kentucky. According to the chief engineer, the newly redesigned transmission will feature an upgraded clutch pack for increased torque capacity, along with a strengthened casing to handle larger lateral loads. The bell housing is also expected to be redesigned to accommodate a large oil sump, which will allow Chevrolet to ship the 2023 Z06 with track-ready transmission fluid levels. To add to this, GM Authority reports that the new version will also come with features such as a larger diameter output shaft flanges to support the model's high-strength half shafts, along with a 5.56:1 final drive ratio, which is about 7% shorter than the C8 Corvette Stingray's factory gearing. Also, as opposed to the RPO code M1L that the C8 Corvette is ragged with, the Z06 will have a different RPO code of M1M. Even though all these features are already looking pretty amazing, that's not all with the Z06. The 2023 Corvette Z06 will also have a 5.5-litre V8 LT6 gasoline engine that is rated at 670 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, to add to the impressive upgraded transmission. It will also have a wider front as well as rear tracks, with also an optional Z07 performance package that will have a full carbon fiber aero kit, capable of producing 734 pounds of downforce at 186 miles per hour. The Z06 is loaded with features like almost never seen before with any other Chevrolet car. If you also would be interested in seeing the long list of features that the Z06 has, we've got a range of videos on the channel that you should check out on colors, options for the car, as well as other things that you'd surely find interesting. While this transmission upgrade is looking like the real deal for the Z06 and also for Chevrolet in general, they'd surely be watching closely to avoid any such errors like with the old version. One thing though that has been sort of a concern to several owners is the casing of the transmission, with many calling for the Z06 to come with a different casing than what was in the 2020 C8 Corvette. Following these complaints and remarks from several owners and people around the Corvette space, Chevrolet looks to have hinted that the Z06 could come with a magnesium case. According to Motor1.com, just around last year, a fleet of camouflage Chevrolet Corvettes were seen at a hotel in Ohio, and quite interestingly, a spy was waiting for the car so he could take a closer look. In a video posted on YouTube, a guy named Brandon explained how he hid in the rain for hours just so he could get close and sneak to see what was under the car's camo. In his successful attempt, Brandon would then later discover that the C8 Z06 looked to have adopted a transmission that came with a magnesium case. This move by Chevrolet not only answers to what many fans have been expecting, but it actually is something that would allow the Z06 to shed some pounds, since a magnesium case is known to weigh around 33% less than cast iron aluminum. With the transmission on the C8 Z06 looking to have all the necessary components to make for a really superb transmission, it surely will be left to be seen whether it will entirely eliminate the problems faced with the Tremec-produced transmission. The idea of a newly designed transmission also cancels out the possibility of the C8 Z06 coming with manual transmission. You're probably wondering, why would they even think of a manual transmission in the first place, right? Well, following the issues faced with a Tremec-produced transmission, several quarters pointed out that Chevrolet could be looking forward to replacing the transmission that seemed to fail with a manual option, at least until they got it right, and the auto transmission started working just fine. However, these suggestions were totally denied any further consideration by Chevrolet, with key officials within the car company simply ruling out the possibility. For a car in its class, it would pretty much look like a not well thought out decision to bring back manual transmission. And even with the level of tech we've got today, Chevrolet will most likely be selling themselves short by using it for a car that has been deemed to be one of their best cars, even though it's not been released yet. The Tremec-produced transmission had actually come with high expectations with the level of potential it had, but it simply didn't quite meet up to what was expected. But even despite this, Chevrolet are not considering a manual option. The C8 Z06 already looks like the complete package, in terms of almost everything already, and the transmission upgrade sure makes for something to be excited about, especially with a look at what Chevrolet has developed to replace the failed transmission in the 2020 Corvette. What are your thoughts on the transmission upgrade? What do you feel is most impressive about it? Do you also think it has the capacity of matching what some other top cars are offering? Kindly respond in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as well as turn on the notification bell button. Don't forget to also check out our other Z06 videos and the details we're sure you'll be interested in. See you in the next video.